He's doing his second speech this evening. It's going to be on the project Organize Your Speech, and the title of his speech is Group Things. Group Things. Okay, please help me welcome our first speaker this evening, Edmon Lee.
Human beings are like sheep. We have a natural tendency to follow the herd very passively, and we fear breaking away from the group. This is called groupthink. Groupthink is a psychological phenomenon in which people strive to form a consensus within a group by making decisions and following beliefs very passively without engaging in any critical evaluation or independent thought. Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, I was very confused growing up as a child. I grew up in a very religious household. I was very perplexed by why my personal values and beliefs did not reflect the same beliefs that were taught to me by my church. I often felt very guilty and very fearful that basically if I did not abide by the values and beliefs that the church had taught us, that there was some sort of punishment that was going to await me. Groupthink is all around us. We are constantly being attacked by it. It is used by governments to control the population. It is used by religious institutions. It is used by marketers trying to convince you that happiness lies in purchasing their own products. It happens in schoolyards. It happens in smaller groups such as this one. Nobody wants to feel left out of the group. So why do we have a tendency to follow the group passively like sheep? And why do we have a horror of breaking away from the group? One of the reasons is our own individual laziness. It's often easier to just follow passively and just go with the opinions of others instead of using your own independent thought. And it's a lot less stressful as well. Another reason is the fear of judgment and the fear of rejection. And this is a very logical and valid reason if you think about it. Throughout human history, and even today, there can be severe repercussions for going against the beliefs of the group. Many people have paid a very heavy price for challenging the ideas and beliefs and expressing their own opinions and values. Groupthink can be so powerful that the people who are engaged in groupthink can be capable of acting very violently, defending their beliefs. And often they defend it with their own lives. They're so fearful that they may have spent their entire life devoting themselves to a flawed belief that they will blindly follow the beliefs without ever questioning it, without opening themselves up to any outside ideas, beliefs, or philosophies. So why should we break away from groupthink? One reason that I can think of that we should break away from groupthink is that society can place limiting beliefs on us. They can try and dictate what you can and can't do and accomplish. They can try and place limits based on your age, your race, your height, your weight, your appearance, your social status. Therefore, it is very important to have a conscious understanding of what groupthink is and how we can overcome it. Society can have their expectations of you, but only we can control our own destiny. Another reason to break away from groupthink is that we have a tendency to assume that authority figures or people in powerful positions are always correct and right, even though historically most of the times they're wrong. We can be easily swayed by their confident demeanor and their aura of prominence as well. And this can be very dangerous. Just within the last century, we had an authority figure by the name of Adolf Hitler in Nazi Germany who convinced the entire nation that the Aryan race was the dominant race or the superior race, and to condemn and persecute people from another race. This is how powerful groupthink can be. There's another authority figure today in North Korea who oppresses his people and uses groupthink to his advantage to control his nation. Socrates was the father of Western philosophy, and he gave his life to practice his own beliefs. He was condemned to death and charged with corrupting the youth and going against the gods that was worshipped by a city. He is a great example of somebody who stands up courageously and intelligently against the will of the majority. Socrates wanted us to overcome our laziness and timidity by challenging and questioning the beliefs of the group. Firstly, he devised a rigorous truth test called the Socratic method. This comprised of 5 distinct steps. Firstly, look around for statements that people around you would describe as pure common sense. For example, as our very own Richard Chang says, money equals happiness, or money leads to happiness. Secondly, try to find an exception to this statement. For example, you can be very unhappy and have a lot of money at the same time. Thirdly, if an exception to the statement exists, it must mean that the statement is either false or at the very least imprecise. Next, try to take a nuance to this exception. For example, you can be unhappy and have money at the same time if you are in a very bad marital situation. Lastly, you keep trying to find an exception to the statement. Socrates said the ultimate truth lies in the statement that is impossible to disprove. I encourage every one of us to turn off the television and disengage from groupthink. When you free yourself from the limitations that society places on you, a new world of possibilities can open up to your life, as you're now awakened to see what is possible and what you're capable of. All of us has the capacity and the ability and duty to stop following opinions passively and instead develop beliefs that we can truly have confidence in. All of us can make a transition from being a sheep to a thinking person. Madam Toastmaster.